Welcome to You Matter in Business. Your hosts today are Ariel, me, and Miriam.
Your heart, your brand story, and your success because you matter in your business.
Welcome back to You Matter in Business. I'm here with Miriam again, and we are going to discuss some fun in marketing. To
Mm,
talk marketing, Miriam?
yeah, I
Yeah.
love marketing. Marketing's in my blood. I absolutely love it.
So, what
So
part of marketing do you love? Let's just because marketing has sales, marketing is advertising, marketing. What are the components of marketing?
I love all of it. So for me, it's the whole of that marketing mix. So there's loads of different analogy. There's loads of different, there's, 4 Ps, which turn into 5 Ps, which turn into 7 Ps, which then there's the Ws, and then there's the S's, and then there's all these other kind of, ways that you go. But I mean, I think to me, at the heart of marketing is the customer and the customer's needs and the customer's wants. Because at the end of the day, for me, without the customer that pays your wages, the customer is the heart of whether your business succeeds or not. You can have the best product in the world, but if nobody wants it, then it's going to fall flat on its face, isn't it? So everything for me is about the customer. The price has to be right for the customer, but also for your business. But the product has to be right for the customer, but also for your business. But everything centers, if you get that relationship with the customer right, then your business will, in my opinion, grow. And I love relationship building, and I love that kind of communication with customers. And that to me is what marketing's all about. It's about getting that communication right. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Yay.
Okay. So a lot with women and men too, it just depends on your personality type, but we tend to be givers by nature. We tend to be the caregivers and we take care of the families and that's part of our like DNA structure. So a lot of times I hear a lot of women have no problem talking about their business. They have no problem talking about the packages they may offer. They have no problem explaining how it can help their client, but they really have a problem with asking for money. When you get down to that transactional piece of this business, the closing the sale, which if you never close, you have no business. So it's a part of what we have to do. Yes, it's transactional, so it doesn't feel as heart driven, but it's just an exchange for value for value. That's what you're exchanging. You're giving value, they're getting value. So how do you help women that are struggling or they don't want to feel like they're bragging or they don't want to be the center of the space, like especially with personal branding? That's all about showing you to the universe, but I don't want to be the center of the story. How do you help women learn to flip the switch that the story might just not be about them?
And so to me, and you probably have a slightly different take on it to me, but to me, it's about building that relationship first, understanding totally who your customer is, what the problem that they have that you can solve is, getting to know them and building that customer relationship with them in a really in-depth way so that they feel that you can understand them. And whether it's a bar of soap that you're selling them, or whether it's, a beautiful $1 million handbag, or whatever it is, the sales relationship is exactly the same. And if you build that connection with your customer, and that may be through your social media, it may be through your website, it may be through your branding, how you portray yourself to them. But all that, everything about that marketing mix is building up that picture of your customer and how you are interacting with that customer and building that relationship. And then when you actually get to that point, when you get to that, okay, so are you going to give me the $5 for that bar of soap? Or, when you actually ask for at the close, it doesn't feel alien because that's what was going to happen. That's where you were leading to. There's no ambiguity between the customer and you. They know what their problem is. They know where your solution lies, and the two are going to come together. Their expectation of what the price is going to be is already laid out there because of what your brand has already told them. You know, if you're selling I know you know this well, but if you're selling a $1 hamburger, it's going to look a certain way. It's going to feel a certain way. It's going to sound a certain way. It's going to be packaged in a certain way.
Don't eat me.
Or if you're selling $1 million handbag, purse in America, sorry, handbag to me. But if that's, if you're Louis Vuitton and you're going to sell me that beautiful handbag, the shop front is going to look a particular way. The handbag is going to look a particular way. The font that you've used, the color scheme that you've used, the language that you've used is going to be a certain way. The expectation is going to be that's going to be $1 million handbag, not a dollar hamburger. So that when you come to ask that question of, so now are you going to give me $1 million for this handbag? The answer is going to be yes, because that's what the whole thing's led up to.
Okay, good point. Most people buy because they solve a problem of something. Typically, you just don't buy to buy. I mean, that problem might be internal and it's an addiction. That's why you buy. But I'm talking about the general person goes out and gets something because they need to solve a problem. Right? I want to cook rice better. I buy a rice cooker, right? So there's a problem, there's a solution. And a lot of marketing in today's world is aimed to solve an exterior problem, because you have external problems, you have internal problems, and then you have philosophical problems, right? So explain to me why it's much more powerful to talk to the deeper level problems in your marketing.
Okay, so everyone needs a sofa. So I'm going to go out and buy a sofa because I need somewhere to sit to watch the television in the evening. So I'm going to buy a basic sofa. I'm going to buy something that I can sit on. Okay. That's one sale, and that's one way of making a sale. I sell sofas that you can sit on to watch the television. Okay. But if you actually talk to the customer instead about the fact that you're not just providing them with something to sit on, but you're providing them with a lifestyle choice that it's a beautiful piece of furniture that's going to last them for decades, that when people walk through the door, they're going to look at your sofa and go, wow, that's a really beautiful piece of furniture that's so comfortable and envelops you in the evenings and makes you feel a certain way. And it's where you spend romantic evenings with your husband, and it's where you and your kids have popcorn evenings in front of the film. That's a different sale. You're twanging at those heartstrings. You're feeling. They are now not just sitting on a hard sofa. They are now emotionally attached to the beautiful family-centric piece of artwork in their front room. Okay, and then so they're more likely to spend money, but they're actually more likely to spend their money with you if they are emotionally attached to it. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense. You're right on target. And then you add a philosophical level to it by saying things like all the interior wood is made out of the strongest bamboo.
And it's sustainable.
Just take a moment for a slight interruption. We wanted to share some exciting news.
Exceptional women professionals often struggle to communicate their expertise. Rediscover, refine, rebrand women's retreats provide a transformative, intimate experience that help clarify your unique identity, so you are self-confident and courageous, stand out in your industry, and enjoy effective marketing.
Join us on one of these retreats. Go to arielfaith.com and choose your date that fits your schedule. Reserve your exclusive spot with a simple deposit and then enjoy tailored planning tips and details from us to get ready for this inspiring experience. In the meantime, if you can like, share, and comment on this podcast, we'd appreciate the love. Thank you. So now you've added a deeper concern for the environment, a more, you've given them more than just a sofa that they're going to enjoy with their family. Now they're contributing to the world's problems.
It's recycled.
Yeah.
It's not leather. So no
Animal was
as a result of this creation. That, because it's recycled, it's not causing any harm. Because it was manufactured in the United States of America, it's given jobs to Americans. There's no carbon footprint because it hasn't been transported across the world. It's not come from a country where they've got, bad records of human rights. There you go. So that sofa is now fully in line with their own moral and ethical code.
And that's the sofa they want over the one over there that is a whole lot less money.
So I'm using a sofa because I'm sitting looking at the one that we bought 7 years ago, which cost far more than we should have spent, but it had all of those things and you had that emotional attachment to it. And it's that building up of that story, isn't it, with your customers, that and it's that emotional attachment and your brand persona, what you're providing, what your whole everything about the essence of you and your company is aligning itself with what your customer wants, needs, desires, all those kind of things. If you can build that emotional relationship with them, you don't have to fear that, that asking for that closure, because it's implicit, it's going to happen.
It's a good, you're sharing something good.
Yeah.
It's not something just tangible, right? It's more than tangible. So let's talk about the art of building trust with potential clients, because you talked about connections, you talked about there's a huge amount of services, especially in the coaching world, in the maybe business services, in some of those service oriented jobs. It's about trust 90% of the time, and for potential clients, because there's a lot of people out there all saying different things. And who am I going to choose to be my mentor? Who am I going to choose to help me through this problem? So that it's a different beast. So how do you work through that journey? Because I think it is a journey of sharing enough of you that you become a reliable and trustworthy person for somebody to look to as a guide for their life, as a coach for their life, whatever word you want to use.
Okay, so I think there's a lot of layers that you have to put in place. So as you say, people tend to buy if they know, like, and trust you. Okay, so everything that you put out there has to be on point. So most of us now, if you have a personal brand like you do, I do, most business women, but actually most people in existence now have a personal brand because of social media. I have a personal social media account and I have a business persona, and everything that you put out, whether it's your personal or your business, because the two are so interconnected on so many different levels, everything that you put out there has to align with your morals and your ethics. So you don't really want to go out there on your social media, on your personal one, drinking, smoking, taking drugs, racing cars, whatever. And then try and sell them something that is a product that doesn't align with what you are selling for yourself. Okay, they will find you out. So you've got to be authentic, and you've got to provide. Your customer has to completely trust what you're saying. So you can't start lying to them, because you're going to get found out. You need to be honest about it, but align with what your customer is, what they're going to want. I mean, if you're selling guns, it may well be that your persona is completely different than if you're selling incense sticks. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
So,
100%.
and people that are going to buy guns are likely to be different people than are going to buy incense sticks. I'm using two stupid things. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be
You're
obtuse.
using contrast for a very good illustration.
So the person that is going out on a Saturday to buy a gun may well, be a different type of person than the person that might be buying incense sticks. I mean, maybe they buy the same, maybe, but unlikely. So I think, but so if you need to be aligning yourself with them, and it really, everything you do has to build that trust up with your clients. So the language that you use needs to build that trust. The visuals that you use, you build that trust. But also then the other layers of it are that who has used you in the past? What are your expertise? What are your qualifications? So how can you justify that what you're saying to them is true? What in your past provides you with the qualifications that you know what you're talking about, but also who's used you before? So use other people that other customers, but get their testimonials, get them to say how good you are and what difference it's made, and how what you're providing met their problem, and what a difference that made in their lives. So tell their story of previous customers as well. So you build up a picture slowly over time through everything that you do, through your website, your social media, through your brochures, through your public speaking opportunities. Everything builds a picture of you that people go, yeah, I get her. She's someone I trust. She's qualified in her. She's got all the accreditations that she needs. She's got previous customers that sing her praises. And everything I've seen about her makes me feel comfortable and confident that I can open up and tell my deepest secrets to her, because I know she's going to keep it confidential and all those kind of things. So you have to really decide what your brand persona is right from the beginning to start that trust all the way through that relationship.
Now, I know in marketing, there are different marketing buckets. So we have different, and what I mean by that is we have different ways of marketing. There's print, there's, newspaper ads, magazine articles. I mean, there's word of mouth, there's networking meetings, there's social media. And then when you get into social media, there's different people are on different platforms. You have different people on TikTok generally than you do on Facebook. So you have different clientele living in different homes.
And I think we're going to talk about that in future conversations, aren't we? We're going to go through different places. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And the differences and why we need to pay attention to different things and where should we spend our time. I wanted to bring that up for that. But before we get into that completely, why is it important that we have different audiences in each one of those different platforms if we choose to live in all of them? Mm-hmm. Why do you think it would be important to pick one that you put because a lot of us can auto post now to multiple, one post can go to multiple channels with lots of different software. So if we use some kind of system like that, why would we want to focus on maybe one clientele versus all clienteles?
Okay. So again, that's completely down to who your ideal client is. So different platforms attract different demographics of people. And so again, let's go back to my analogy. The person who is buying a gun may not be on LinkedIn. They may well be on TikTok, for instance. The person who's buying incense may well be on Instagram, but they might not be on LinkedIn. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, that the person that's coming to buy guns may well be a high-powered businessman, but when he's specifically looking for guns, he might not think that LinkedIn is the place that he's going to be finding out the best person to buy guns from. Whereas he might think, oh, actually, the best place for me to look is TikTok, for instance, or Facebook Marketplace. But so you need to work out exactly who your ideal client is. Is it a woman? Is it a middle-aged woman? Is it a woman who's got a certain amount of income? Is it a woman who is married with children? Or are they only ever going to be looking at travel sites or whatever? What is their demographic? What are their interests? Where are they going to hang out? And it used to be so much easier, didn't it? Because, if you were going to sell to middle-aged women, you might go to the knitting shop. I'm just throwing it out there. Do you know what I mean? But because we've got social media that pervades our lives, we have to work out exactly how we're going to match up with those women. So, and actually linking who we friend on all of these different sites, who we follow, who we like, who we comment on, that builds our networks up. And we need to be channeling that. So we build the network in our specific, if I was, let's go back to the guns thing, but I don't like doing that, but there you go. If I was selling guns, I may well be targeting, a particular age group or a particular demographic. And so I need to be friending people on Facebook and Instagram and those kind of places, friend people who meet that demographic, so that I am constantly, when I'm talking out there, when I'm putting my own opinion out there, it's talking to the right people at the right level, at the right tone, with the right language, with the right visuals, with the right way of, of talking to them.
So the message is clear and it's understood, because we have 3 seconds to attract attention.
I know that's the hardest bit though, isn't it? You need to get that hook. And it's the language that you use in that 3 seconds.
First 3 seconds. And that's where sometimes we need help, right? We're very good at accounting. We're excellent at it, but we're not good at talking about the benefits to somebody who has to hire an account. Like, we may not be able to talk to that heart, but we can work with somebody who may be very good at that. So again, that's why we, companies have people in different roles for a reason. But when you're a smaller business, you try to do everything yourself, which means some of that you're going to do good, and some of it you're going to fumble just because you don't know that part, or you got to learn it. Now you're learning instead of working. So there's a balance there that you have to play with. So again, the math helps. Do I just learn this and do it, or do I hire somebody that already knows how to do it? There's numbers attached to both of those.
Yeah.
So, and those are decisions we get to make. But this was fun. I know we're planning on talking to we have another interview coming, but we also have we want to talk about the different social media accounts and the different marketing buckets in the future, and some other things, but that's just one of the things on our list. Because I think I have found for myself, it was important for me to understand who lives in what arena. Because if I'm spending all my time in an arena where my clients don't live, I'm wasting my time. And I don't believe in that. I think we should all use our time wisely. So we want to share a little of what we know to hopefully help you pick a platform, or putting your energy in a place that is much more better use of your time. So that's what's bringing you down the road. Drum roll, please. So we will see you again.
Bye.
Bye.
See you next episode. After all, it is your brand, your story, and your success, because Ariel and I know you matter in your business.
Thank you for listening to the You Matter in Business podcast. Please follow, share, like, and comment. We would love to hear from you. This podcast is sponsored by Ariel Faith Photography and Enrich Life Coaching. The show notes provide more information on how to contact Ariel and Miriam and any guest speakers who share in our journey together.